Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about something very particular that I wanted to demonstrate that you probably saw on the recent short that I did on the channel. And I just wanted to see this video right here. This video was very popular. I believe it was spotlighted by Unreal. One of the reasons for it is because it looks so realistic. It looks really great. There is I think I saw a YouTube video on the person who made this, and there was time lapse. They used a lot of reference. So one of the things they used to make this so realistic was the use of reference, but not only to model and to place the assets, but also to make sure that the lighting was correct. So that's one of the things that makes this thing look so realistic, apart from the huge amount of work that the author put in it. Now, the other reason why this looks so realistic is the camera work. And by that I mean, it looks like an actual real life camera. Most of the time when you see things made in Unreal, when you see things made with CGI, especially in game engines, we tend to use, and I say we because I've done it several times, and I've done it on my shorts too. We use the cameras that are included within the engine, the CG cameras. The CG cameras, it doesn't matter how much you move the curves, how you edit them, they will never move as a real live camera being held by a human being. So that's why this video looks like this, and that's why usually videos made in Unreal don't look as realistic. So I thought I would change that for my current short film and start to do a little bit more handheld. The previous short that I released on the channel about that Lost in Space kind of thing, it was me testing the system that I'm going to show you today. So let's get to that. Before we get started, things that you're going to need for this, well, everything that we're going to use, it's usually free if you have an iOS device. So the apps are working for an iPhone or an iPad, which I'm going to be using here. I'm actually going to be using my iPad Pro. It's a really old iPad from 2015. So if this thing worked, then any iPad that you have should work. Any recent iPad that you have should work. This is the iPhone 12 mini, and I don't know about the iPhones, which iPhone works with, but I'm guessing any of the most recent iPhones. So let's say from 10 and beyond, it should be fine. I'm not using LiDAR. I'm not using anything specific from the newest iPhones. So just bear that in mind if you have an older iOS device. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with Android. All right, also we're going to need a couple of things here, like plugins, as usual. So you are going to type virtual in your plugins. If you haven't installed plugins, just go to settings, just click on plugins. And over here, just type virtual and make sure that you have virtual camera checked, which I didn't. So I'm going to say yes. That's one of the things that we're going to need. And we're also going to be using Live Link. So make sure Live Link is checked, and make sure also Live Link camera is checked. All right. So after this, all you have to do is click on restart and should be good. All right. So what you're seeing here is the map that I'm going to be using for Act 1. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen this shot that I released a short shot list on my Instagram. Please follow me there if you want to see the updates for the short film. After enabling the plugins, you should go here into the virtual production tab. By the way, if you don't have the place actors here, just go to Windows and make sure your place actors is activated, and it should be somewhere in your outliner. Now over here you see that we have checkerboard, and we have simple virtual camera, and we have virtual camera to actor. I use virtual camera to actor is grab the camera, drop it in the environment, and hopefully this thing doesn't crash because it's very heavy. Compiling some shaders. I know it looks a little bit choppy. Let me switch to that virtual camera. So over here, if you look at all the components that this camera has, because it's not just a camera, it has several components that allows it to work with the virtual camera that we're going to be using now. Now you can see that the virtual camera, I have the main component selected, and if we go over here, you can see all the properties, and you have exactly the same properties as a cinematic camera. nothing's changed. However, what we need to be interested in is this VCam over here, this VCam component. This is what we're going to be working with. So if you click on the VCam component, it's going to take you to all of the other things that we're going to be doing in here. So when we enable it, the UI around the viewport is going to change, but do not enable it just yet. There's one more thing that we need to do before we enable anything. So you have to go here where it says output. You have to unlock index, output again, and over here you have UMG overlay. The reason why I brought you here is because if we don't click on is active, right now it's not active because this checkbox is not checked, you're not going to have the UI. You're going to see later on how important is the UI for this process, because it not only allows you to do the handheld camera thing, but it also has a lot of properties that you can use while in this mode. So make sure that you do this part. So it's output providers, index, output, and you're going to check is active. All right. So after we have done that, if I click on enable, you're going to see that I have a very cool UI around. Okay. And there's various functionalities over here. Some of them I'm going to be showing to you. Some of them I usually don't use them, because the beauty of Unreal Engine is after you get your camera done, so after you have recorded the position of your camera, because yes, you can record the position of your camera with this, you can actually make changes to it. So I'm not going to worry about lenses or anything while I'm doing the handheld mode. I can do that after the fact. All right. So I'm just gonna disable this for now. The second thing that you need for this process is the Live Link tab. If you don't have the Live Link tab like I do, make sure you go to Windows, Virtual Production, and make sure you click on Live Link. And it should give you a floating tab. I just drop it down here because it's convenient. Now for the other thing that you're gonna need your IP. So for IP, all you have to type is IP, go to CMD. So in your Windows search bar, type CMD, press enter, and this should show up. In here, you're going to type ipconfig and then press enter. And it should show you the IP that you need to use. So the number that you're going to be using for this purpose is located in here in this line, IPv4 address. Of course, I'm obscuring all these numbers because that's my private IP address. I don't want to link that online, but just so you know, this is the one that you are going to be using. So just write that down. All right, so over here, I'm going to show you where to get the app. We're using my iPhone, but it's the same process on the iPad. So you're just going to go into the app marketplace and just type over here. So this is the app that you want to download. Now, I know there's another app that I've seen videos on for this same purpose, and I tried that app, but it didn't get me as good results as this one. This app didn't used to work as well, but now in Unreal Engine 5, it does work pretty well. I've used it during that short video that you saw, and I've been using it ever since. It actually works pretty well both on iPad and on iPhone, so this is the one that you want to download. Right, now what I'm showing you here is my iPhone. I'm actually going to do it with my iPhone because it's much easier to put in front of my camera. So I have my IP over here written down, even though the box is grayed out so you don't see my IP, but my IP is right there. Now all you have to do is click on connect. Make sure you are under the same Wi-Fi of your computer, workstation, whatever you're using. Your iOS device needs to be on the same wireless connection. So click connect. It's going to say connecting, and after a while you're going to get this error. Doesn't matter, this actually worked. I don't know why it gives you this error, but your phone is actually connected even though nothing is showing. I'm going to show you in a little bit. So here in Unreal Engine, what's going on is you're gonna have to go to Live Link. And it's just like if you've seen my motion capture videos, it's the same thing how you enable these. So you just go to source, and you're gonna go to message bus source, and as you can see, something populated here, which is the Live Link Bcam from my iPhone. Look at here, it says iPhone. So I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna get the green button. That means everything is working. If for some reason you at some point you get a yellow button, which I've gotten, that means that your app or your phone has shut off in case you have like auto lock screen or something like that. So once you have this, all you have to do is go to details, make sure you are on VCam, and we're gonna go under Live Link subject. Click here, make sure you select whatever iOS device you're using, in this case, my name /iPhone, and then click enable. By the way, make sure you follow these steps as I told them in the same order, because I did it in a different order and for some reason this thing didn't work. So just follow along, rewind the video if you need to, and after that all you have to do is click enable. And again, nothing is happening just yet, because this time we're going to click connect. I'm actually clicking connect on my iPhone right now, and as you can see, we are on handheld mode. So I'm using my iPhone, and I'm just going to show you on my camera what's going on. So you can see my camera is moving along with what's going on inside Unreal Engine, and it may be a little bit choppy because this map is, and it decided to save right now, but this map is a little bit heavy, and I'm using OBS and I'm using my handheld iPhone app, so I'm sorry for the frame rate, but I just want to show you that I'm actually controlling things in real time with a handheld camera. Alright, so I'm going to stop the picture-in-picture so this thing picks up a little bit more frame rates. So looking pretty good, and I'm just turning around. There it is, the other MetaHuman that I had for the other shots. And as you can see, I'm actually walking. Let me walk over here. I just have a wall here in my room, so we can just go and let's get closer to him. We can actually get closer to him with the camera. All right. Yeah, this is unfortunately my studio is not that big, but let me see how far can I walk around. So walk this way. Actually get out of here and see him. And as you can see, everything is on real time. Now we're a little bit further away from him, and I'm actually going to show you, so we're walking towards, I'm actually going to show you a couple controllers that I like to use, and why I think it's very important that you have this UI over here. Now on my left, on the left of this is the movement, and on the right is rotation. Okay, so let's try to get out of here. So I'm just going to go over here. Let's rotate this way. There you go. Just rotate the camera. I'm gonna walk to the other room. You're probably not hearing me very well right now because I'm walking away from the mic. And I left the room. I'm really far away from my mic right now, so this is why I'm recording my voice after the fact, and I'm just moving around my house. At this moment, I'm just walking through the hallway that leads to the entrance of my house, and one of the things that I wanted to show you here is you can actually walk pretty far from your computer because this thing is running on Wi-Fi. So right now I'm moving towards my living room, which is more than 10 feet away from my studio. We're actually pretty far from my computer right now. And as you can see, this thing is still working pretty good. Just moving around. This moment, just have my couch near me. And okay, let's walk. I'm gonna walk towards the kitchen. So again, just to show you how much range you can have with this. My house is not huge, but it's still, I'm pretty far from my studio and this thing is still picking it up. So I pretty much can walk the whole environment if I wanted to. We just reached the end of my kitchen. Let's just go back to the studio, get into the hallway, and let's just end up where we started. All right, I'm back. Regular mic. All right, Neil, what do you have to say for yourself? Nah, he's really quiet right now. Now you have a lot of other options here. You can select the lens, you can select f-stop. You can also over here select the stabilization. If I go over here, so translation stabilization, whoops, that's zoom. So let us do, it's a little bit more stable. Let's do the rotation all the way over here. Okay, that's a lot better. That's much better than me just walking around like a madman. So you can exit this out. I'm actually doing it in the computer, and we can, let me rotate this down. We can actually select objects in the world with this camera. I don't like to do that because there's really no need for doing that. You have the engine over here. Let me close this out. And the other things, you have a couple of things here, kind of like your position in the map if you wanted to move that. Again, you can do that later on in the engine. There may be some uses for that. We're not going to dig into that. Okay, now let me go into the other thing that I want to show you, which is recording the camera. And what this is going to do is it's not going to record what you're seeing on camera. It's going to record the camera's position in the world. So that way you can use it later on in sequencer. And that is my point with not having to mess with all the other options here. It doesn't matter what you're seeing. It doesn't matter that that object is selected. What matters is that the camera position is going to get recorded. So for that, I'm actually going to do it here. I'm going to unlock this button. That's going to take away from your UI, unfortunately, but just make sure that you have your camera that you wanted, but you can still use this UI that I have on screen, which is the translation and rotation if you wanted to. I'm not going to use those here. What I am going to do is I'm going to click on this big red button, which is going to start recording. So let's do that. And it says failed to start recording due to delay detected. Now, because I had Take Recorder open, it gave me that error. All I have to do is open the Take Recorder tab. Now click here. And it's gonna do the 3, 2, 1, as you can see. And we start recording. Let's record him around. Okay, we'll see what's on his monitor. Let's just walk out of this room slowly. Okay, I'm just gonna go out. And I'm back in my recording studio. And once I'm done, all I have to do is click here to stop. And the recording is done. There is a little change to source content file has been detected. Would you like to import it? Just say don't import. Sorry, that thing is off screen. But just click on don't import. You don't need that. And once we are done, I'm actually going to disconnect the iPhone right now because I don't need it anymore. Now, in order to find your recording, what you need to do is go to your content folder. A cinematic folder should be created for you. If you haven't done any Take Recorder, this folder will just pop up after you recorded that. Go to takes, go to whatever date is at the time of the recording, and then go into scene, whatever, and you'll find your virtual camera over here. So if you double click, mine is already open, and over here you have the camera with all of the tracking points. So all I have to do now is click on this little camera, so it's here on the viewport, And if I go over here, I'm sorry, that was too fast. If I just hit play, my camera is right there. And again, this is the reason why I don't mess with all of those other options, because I have all those options available to me here in Sequencer. So you can see me walking. There was a little bit of a hitch there, probably lost signal. That tends to happen if I go into the laundry room for some reason, I don't know. But yeah, laundry room doesn't like Unreal. Now, like I said, I didn't use any of those other options in there because you can do it after the fact. I can just go here in the camera component, click on track, and I have all the things that I need. I have my film back aspect ratio, film preset, I have my focus settings. If I wanted to add manual focus distance, manual tracking, I can change the focal length. So current focal length, as you can see, if I wanted to change the focal length for some reason, I didn't like the one that I had in the beginning. I can also add current aperture, which these are some of the values that I would change right out of the bat, and many other that you can see in your cinematic camera. So again, there's no need to mess with all of those UI elements. Feel free to play with those, and yeah, let me know in the comments down below how they work for you. Would you rather do it after the fact, or would you rather do it while you're recording? That'll be very interesting to know. And that is how you set up a handheld virtual camera inside Unreal Engine by just using your iOS device. You can use your iPhone or you can use your iPad. I tend to use the iPad, which is more comfortable as a handheld device. I use the iPhone in this case because it was easier to show on camera what's going on. But yeah, it's easy as that. It's free. You can just download the app. Now remember to hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below how you plan on using the virtual camera. I'm very curious to know how you will all use it. If you want to share your footage, you can share it on our Discord server. The link is down below. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram for more updates on my coming short film. And before we leave, thank you so much to all my Patreons, and over here on screen as always are my level 2 Patrons. Again, just join the Patreon if you want to help out the channel. If not, just hitting a like and sharing the videos goes a long way as well. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.